All right, guys, welcome back. Eric here with Guitarsenal. All right, today we're taking a look at a really cool vintage amplifier, something that you are certainly not going to see every day. Very, very rare piece of gear. This is a Magnatone Model 405, but it's kind of unique. It's got some weird stuff going on with it. This is not an amp you are going to encounter hardly ever. This is a 405 that was made for a Stewart Oriphonic, which from what I understand was a accordion company, I guess a supply house that sold accordions in the 50s. So this thing's an accordion amp made by Magnatone, but branded for another department store essentially. And I have no clue how few of these things are made, but they are not common. It's very similar in form and function to the Magnatone Model 113 Troubadour Deluxe, which is a Doppler style vibrato circuit. It's not a pitch shifting vibrato like you see in some of the earlier Magnatones. It's very similar to that circuit. We also have one of those amps that we're going to do a video on. They are very, very similar, but the construction is almost identical, except the main difference is this uses two 8 speakers. So you got two 8-inch speakers. This thing would be a monster harmonica amp. It is completely dimed right now. The speakers are certainly sagging and definitely given when I hit the strings hard like a Vox would. So it gets some really unique sounds. Really, really cool piece of gear. Let's give it a listen. This is just the amp completely ponied out. The volume of this amp, I want to say it puts out about 10 watts, maybe 8 watts. So it's not a ridiculously loud amplifier, a really great recording amp. And it sounds big and huge, kind of like the Model 108 Varsity. We've done videos with those amps. I'm a huge fan of that particular amp from Magnatone. This one is about a 1956, 1958 era amp with the front loaded baffle. It doesn't have a logo on the front, so from what I understand, that's not really a thing with these. It's just branded Stewart Oriphonic on the rear. There are some differences in the circuitry on this amp to a standard Magnatone amp. So Jeff up at Andrew's Amp Lab did a full servicing on this amp. It needed a 3-prong cable. It needed some caps and other things looked at. And this schematic doesn't exist, so we had to kind of do a lot of research to figure out what it was the closest thing to, but it's not like any other type of Magnatone amp that you're going to see. So let's give it a listen on the neck pickup, and I'll just chase a few sounds, and we'll go over the vibrato sounds. I am using a period correct foot switch to turn the vibrato on and off, and let's just give it a listen, all right? All right, I'm going to chase, and now there's no onboard reverb. We are getting some reverb from a Strymon Flint. I'm going to turn that down a little bit so it's not quite so pronounced. And I'm going to change the setting on the amp for the vibrato. So layout of the amplifier, you've got a foot switch that engages the tremolo. And you notice they call it tremolo and not vibrato because this is a Doppler style of tremolo. Tremolo is a change of amplitude, not a change of pitch. Let's get a little high on the speed. Oh yeah, that's going to be cool. All right, let's go ahead and turn the tone all the way up. And we've got the channels jumped. So there's a microphone input and instrument input. I'm going into the high gain instrument input, out of the low gain and into the microphone, and we've got everything dimed out. I went ahead and increased that tone all the way. So we'll listen to the vibrato and listen to the amp with the tone out, maybe give us a little bit more sparkle. Okay, this is ponied out. Wow, I mean, for just getting that kind of old school sound, these are the original speakers. If you were to put some fresh speakers in this bad boy, it may sound even better. We'll have to see how it records, but wow, what a magical amplifier. Let's listen to some more of the tremolo sounds. So this is an odd tremolo circuit for a Magnatone. Let's get that intensity way up. Oh yeah, here we go. Man, this thing sounds beautiful dimed out. Let's give that a listen. It's an odd tremolo sound for a Magnatone amp. Usually it has that pitch shifting vibrato, I can't talk today. These two amps are the only ones that I know of that use a Doppler style of a vibrato circuit in a Magnatone. They're not really known for Doppler style ones, but these are the only two I know of that utilize that type of a sound. So let's give this a listen. Yes, sir. That is a fantastic direct type of sound. No pedals other than some reverb that I'm getting. But what a great amp sound for recording. So we'll see how this records. Let me know what you think. With this as a recording amp, this has been the Stewart Oriphonic Model 405 from Magnatone. It is an old school Magnatone, but not a very common one. In my research, not a lot of these things exist. I don't know how many, but it's not a lot. This one was in really good condition when I got it. I've got, you know, a nice slip cover for it. I've got the original tubes and 2-prong cord that it came with, so it was in as touched condition when I got it. All we did was add a 3-prong cord and freshen up any caps, and we put some fresh tubes in it. The speakers are original, and the amp is in very, very fantastic condition. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how this one recorded. An 8-watt amp into 2 8s. I'll have to get my dad to come play harmonica for us. How about that? And we'll get him to play through some of these Magnatones because they sound killer with a harp. So I'll try to arrange that. Guys, have a good one. We post every Friday here on Guitarsenal. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a good one. And I'm going to make a little bit more noise here, which, ooh, glorious noise, and let you guys get back to your day. And this time, I'll tell you what, I'll hit it with a germanium overdrive. This is a sidecar from Hudson Electronics. Hopefully this doesn't get too farty, but let's give it a listen. Let's do it. I won't tell if you won't. All right. Have a good one. See you next time. All right.